The Bundoran Weekly is brought to you by AIB, supporting local businesses in Bundoran. For more, see aib.ie.
Hi everyone, it's Shane Smyth, Bundoran Tourism Officer. It is Friday the 25th of February. I'm here with you for the Bundoran Weekly Podcast, episode 174, the podcast that talks about everything Bundoran. We are going to be talking to Killian O'Kelly of Bundoran RNLI and also of Bundoran Community Centre a little bit later on. He is organising the Bundoran Bay Swim, which is happening this July, and he's going to be telling us all about the details of that and how you can take part and get registered, etc. And also Teresa O'Neill from Bundoran Community Centre will be here in our community corner with us as well to let us know what is happening in the community centre. Lots happening event-wise and music-wise over this weekend and indeed over to the coming weeks. Tonight in the Allingham, it's Elaine Boyle. She's there from 9 to 11. Also social dancing with Pat McKenna and Glenn Shane Country. Tomorrow night then from 9 to 11 in the Allingham at Sinead McLaughlin and dancing with the one and only Jimmy Buckley. Sunday then Mark Black in Key West from 5 until 7 o'clock. And don't forget the March Country Music Festival is happening across the weekend of the 4th to the 6th of March. Mick Flavin, John McNichol, Eamon Jackson and lots more besides, all at the Allingham from the 4th to the 6th of March, which is, I'm going to say, next weekend. The Bird's Nest music there tomorrow night from 9:30 with Stuart Moyles, and then Sunday afternoon there is jiving lessons from 2 to 3. That's followed by John Dolan then from 5:30 until 7 o'clock. Busy Fools tonight at the Chase and Bull. Tomorrow night music with Fabulous Franks. Don't forget the Trad session every Sunday night from 7 o'clock at the Bank Bar, and Trad Tuesdays every Tuesday night at the Phoenix Tavern, and live music there this weekend as well. We have music in the Railway from 9:30 tomorrow night with Paul Simpson, and then Pat Gaffney there's Sunday at 7:30pm, and Bo Loughran with Rebel Music tomorrow night from 9pm at the Celtic Marine Bar at West End. New out this week in the cinema at Eclipse Cinemas there on Station Road. It is The Duke and Studio 66. It's the Foo Fighters movie. It's an odd looking one, but I know Collie was very excited about getting it in. So Studio 66 and The Duke there, the big new movies at Eclipse Cinemas this weekend. And Missed It Monday is Nightmare Alley. So if you didn't get a chance to see that when it was out a couple of weeks ago, you can see it again this coming Monday for a couple of quid cheaper. The full schedule for the cinema is on our website, or indeed also at eclipsecinemas.com, where you can also book your tickets. We are just 1 week away from the Bundoran 10. Entries have now closed and registration is now closed. But we are looking forward to seeing everybody here next weekend. Next Saturday, discoverbundoran.com/Bundoran10. The route map is there, and you can also find more information on our Facebook and Instagram. It's just look for Bundoran 10 and you will find that there, and best of luck to everybody taking part in that. Tommy Tiernan is also playing next weekend at the Great Northern. Tickets are limited at the moment and they're available on Ticketmaster. And then over St. Patrick's weekend it is Derek Ryan at the Great Northern, and DerekRyanMusic.com/tickets. That is Saturday the 19th of March. And of course St. Patrick's Day, our parade is happening. We are really, really looking forward to it. A lot of people looking forward to it. A lot of people already booked into town to spend the weekend with us, which we're really looking forward to. Welcome Back was announced last week as the theme. Welcome Back, or Fáilte Arash, is the theme for the parade for this year. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody's interpretation of that. Even if you don't want to interpret that and you just want to come along and be part of everything, then if you want to take part in the parade, please feel free to do so. If you're a business or if you're a band or a community organisation or whatever. And we've got some exciting news about something different that we're doing at the parade, and we'll bring that to you on next week's podcast. But discoverbundoran.com/parade is where you can register to be part of our St. Patrick's Day parade for 2022, which of course is happening Thursday, March 17th at 3:30, taking the usual route up the main street. So certainly looking forward to seeing everybody there. You're listening to the Bundoran Weekly with thanks to AIB.ie, supporting local businesses in Bundoran and Ballyshannon. And still to come, we're going to be talking to Killian O'Kelly about the Bundoran Bay Swim, and we'll be in our community corner with Teresa from Bundoran Community Centre.
The Bundoran Weekly.
So the Bundoran Bay Swim was a big event here in town for many, many years. It took a little bit of a break, but it was resurrected by Bundoran Community Centre and the team there as a fundraising event over the past couple of years. It is happening again this July, and I sat down with Killian O'Kelly. We in fact went down and sat at the pier and had a chat about it. And here's how that went. Killian, we're standing here at the pier, and it's a lot quieter than it was one of the days last August. But
it certainly is.
we're here because the Bundoran Bay Swim is back again in 2022.
Yeah, so we had a very successful 2021. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the swim in 2020. We ran it in 2019, but in 2021, I suppose the weather gods aligned for us, and we had a great day, and I think we ended up with about 87 swimmers from Tullinstrand to Bundoran, and probably the same again here, meeting the swimmers when they arrived at the pier. So it was a great day. It was a great community day.
It's important to note that 87 swimmers left Tullinstrand and 87 swimmers also landed here at the pier. We didn't lose anybody.
No, we did. We count them in, we count them out. Yeah, no, we didn't lose anyone.
Very good, very good. What remind us of the distance?
So 2.4k, depending on the tide.
Right. Okay.
So when the tide's in at Tullen, it's a longer swim.
Yeah.
And you have bigger tides and smaller tides. It's a neat tide, so it's high tide on that day is 3 metres at 3 o'clock. So the reason it's at 2 o'clock on the 23rd of July is because the swimmers will be arriving at the pier right at high tide. So the piers
kind of help them in a wee bit.
It will, and the piers it's nicer when it's full of water rather than at low tide. It does mean the swims ever so slightly longer on the Tullinstrand side.
Right.
But we're only talking 100 metres.
Okay. So we'll get to the registration details and stuff in a minute, but it is a charity event, and the beneficiaries are?
So it's one beneficiary, it's the Bundoran Community Centre. It's kind of the annual fundraiser for the Bundoran Community Centre, which I believe have a spot on your podcast every week.
They do indeed, yes. Thanks for listening. So a good fundraiser for the Bundoran Community Centre, and I suppose even though they're 5, 6, 7 years old now, it's still getting the word out about the fact that we have a community centre in Bundoran. Yeah,
I would like to say that the community group are a lot older than 5 or 6 years, Shane, but the community centre, being the building itself, I think is there 5 years, and they do. Carmel and my mum's involved, and loads of local people, John Campbell, Michael Travers, load of local people are involved in it, and they do great work and have, it's a great amenity for the community. Yeah.
So back to the swim, 23rd of July, it's a Saturday, and you'd be hoping kind of on the 23rd of July that the weather might be a bit nice.
Well, to all those people who told me last year that the weather was better in July and I should have run it in July, I listened to you. However, I'm not going to listen to you this year when you tell me that the weather's better in August and I should have run it in August. Look, I mean, June, July, August are the 3 months. I probably wouldn't run it in June because, believe it or not, the water really doesn't warm up till the middle of June. But July and August and even the first half of September, the water's at its warmest. A lot of people did the swim in their swimsuits. So I suppose we have to consider those brave souls that aren't wearing wetsuits. So,
what kind of training would people be putting in for it now?
Well, it's an hour swim. Comfortably.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so it's 15 minutes to an hour. I think, if you're a very, very fast swimmer, you probably do it in 40, under 45 minutes. If you're a little bit on the slow side, an hour 15. That's a decent swim. That's not a short swim. 2 things. One, you should be able to swim continuously for 50 minutes to an hour. But the other thing is it's an open water swim. So what that means is, like, when you're coming around the point of Rogie, you're nowhere near land. You're not in you have to be comfortable with being in open water. There was only one swimmer come out last year, a woman from Longford, and I had actually given her a lift to Tullinstrand that day, and she said to me, I've never swam anywhere except a pool and the lake in Longford. And I thought to myself, well, your eyes are going to be open today. So, remember, we won't put you in at Tullinstrand unless it's a nice, calm day and the surf is small, but at the same time there's that psychological thing. You're at the point of Rogie, you're looking, the pier looks miles away. It's not. It's only about 1.2k when you come around the point of Rogie. But if you haven't done open water swimming, it can be a little bit intimidating. So even if you're training with other people, try, say, swim around Rogie Point to the main beach, again, if conditions are right. Some people swim out from the pier up to the West End pool. You know, there's people swim at Creevy, there's people swim at Mullaghmore. But try and get a little bit of what I would call open water swimming. Now, if you are doing open water swimming, you need to check if it's safe. It's best if you have one of those swim floats with you.
Of course.
Obviously, don't do it on your own, and obviously tell someone if you're going.
Yeah, that's for sure, because safety, of course, is paramount. And speaking of safety, then, of course, you're not left on your own when you're out there. Obviously, you're with the 80 or 90 other odd people, but there's plenty of reinforcements on the water and on the land as well.
There is indeed, and as we said earlier, we count the swimmers in and we count the swimmers out, but that's kind of the easy bit.
Yeah,
it's the bit in between, obviously, where there's a risk. So there's two main ways we look after the swimmers when they're in the water. One is we have boat cover. The Bundoran lifeboat covers, and we'd about 4 or 5 other boats covering. Local people, Shawnee, Carty, the group that do the kayaking up in Donegal town sent down a boat. Just local people donated their time and boats to help cover it. However, the boats are limited in how close they can get to the swimmer, and ideally you don't want boats and engines and petrol near the swimmer. So the boats tend to hang out, hang wide and hang back from the swimmers. But what we had, again, mostly local people, we had a lot of kayakers and a lot of suppers there. Aidan Brown got rounded up about 10 people from me there from the surf school. And, Owen Murphy's surf instructors helped the people going through the surf. So we had a good cohort of, I suppose, the surf community and the kayaking community who went on sups and kayaks and basically escorted the people through Tullinstrand and to the Bundoran Pier without being intrusive at the same time. So they were kind of doing the swim with them, but maybe having it a bit easier than the swimmers.
Of course, and then there's radio contact.
There's radio contact all the way
as well, which is good.
Yeah.
So talk to me about registration, etc.
So we've a very, very, very simple website with excellent SEO. It's bundoranbayswim.com. So you can't mix it up with anything else. The entire function of the website is to register. You go on there, you'll see it's updated for 2022. Thanks, Kate. And you register. You just register right there on the website. It's €20. All the money goes towards the Bundoran Community Centre there. And you just register and your name and your details are put on a list. There's a few questions like, have you swam before? A few kind of safety questions. Teresa then, the community centre, maintains a list. We are allowed under insurance and under COVID rules, touch wood at the moment anyway, we're allowed 200 swimmers this year.
Wow, okay.
We were only allowed 100 swimmers last year and we were way oversubscribed. So we had a lot of people, well, when I say we're oversubscribed, we could have filled another 50 in there because we had a lot of people looking to join the swim that we just had to say no to for insurance reasons. So 200's a good number. Probably, to be honest, will never be more than 200.
Yeah.
200 from a safety point
of view. That's a lot of people to look after.
Yeah. In some ways, 100, 200, you still need you still have the same set of problems. But no, 200 is a great number. But again, Shane, I said it earlier, it's a community day. It's for the community in the town, in aid of the community centre. And we if anybody in the community wants to get involved, get in contact with the guys at the community centre. My role is safety. I'm just in charge of safety on it. The community centre will do the registration. They'll have a marquee set up like we did last year on the pier. And, it's just a good, fun community day. And it's a bit of excitement seeing who comes in first and what line they take from Rosie
It's not
Point.
a race.
Oh no, it's not a race, not at all. Like every race that wasn't a race.
Yes, exactly. And just to go back on the whole safety aspect, on the training aspect, we just can't reiterate enough. If you are, obviously you're going to need to get out into the open water to do some training for this, because we would recommend that as you said earlier on. But just please follow all the safety, like join a group of swimmers, don't go on your own, always tell somebody. The basic principles of water safety, we just can't emphasize them enough. Yeah,
and if you're unsure, don't go. It's as simple as that. Like, I mean, the example I always give is Mullaghmore Beach is one of the safest beaches to do anything on in Ireland. It's quite sheltered. If you look at Mullaghmore, it's not open to the open ocean swell. You get the wrong wind conditions, you get someone who's a bit unsure, you get a bit disorientated. So even on a very safe beach, you could get yourself into difficulty. There's brilliant resources now. And remember, from the 1st of June, the lifeguards will be on Bundoran Main Beach. They'll give you advice. contact the RNLI, contact any of the lifeboat crew, there's a water safety officer in Donegal County Council. There's loads of resources. Seamus O'Neill in Ballyshannon, any of the Water Safety Ireland people, they'll only be too glad to advise and help on that.
Absolutely. And I suppose as well, from our own RNLI point of view, if you do see anybody in difficulty on the coast, to ring 999 and 112 and ask for the Coast Guard and get us launched, or get the helicopter launched, or whatever needs to be launched. Listen, 23rd of July, Saturday 23rd of July, BundoranBaySwim.com is the website that you can get on and register, and no doubt we'll have you on closer to the time as well to give us an update. And that is the main date, and if for any reason it has to be cancelled, then there's a B date,
and the B date's actually on the website. It's actually a date in August,
right.
So, and you're going to kill me, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but hopefully we won't be
we won't need to use it.
Yeah.
Killian, thanks very much.
Thank you, Shane.
The Bundoran Weekly.
Thanks, Killian, and we will put the link to that registration in the show notes for the podcast. Right now, let's head over to Bundoran Community Centre, and here's Teresa in our Community Corner.
Thanks, Shane. So coming up, we have the Seafront Strollers that are on every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and Thursday 7 p.m. They meet at the front of the community centre, and they have tea and coffee afterwards and a chat. It's €2 per person. We have the parent and toddler group that's here every Friday in the Rogie Suite at 11 a.m. It's €2 donation, and everyone's welcome to come. Email bundoranpnt@gmail.com for a spot. The Wild Atlantic Women's Group are a women's group that is local to the community centre. They meet every Monday at 11 a.m. to discuss and plan all their next courses, trips and activities. It's €2 per person, and you can either just turn up or you can email the Wild Atlantic Women's Group at gmail.com. We have the Bundoran Bay Swim, which is on Saturday the 23rd of July at 2 p.m. We have a lot of places still left, so if you want to learn more about that, just go to www.bundoranbayswim.com. And as always, check out our Facebook page, the Bundoran Community Centre, and our website, www.bundorancommunitycentre.com. And our telephone number is 07198296675 if anyone has any questions or any printing they want done. Thanks, Shane.
Thanks so much, Teresa. We'll talk to you again next week. A reminder as well, of course, that Sea Sessions is one of the upcoming events. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster, and it is happening 17th to the 19th of June. And ahead of that, the unsigned sessions at the Chase and Bull, and that's happening Friday 25th of March and Friday 1st of April, with the grand final then on Friday the 8th of April. So if you're a band and you're unsigned and you want to take part in that and win the opportunity to play on the main stage at Sea Sessions this coming June, then send all your details and a demo and some information to unsignedsessions2022@gmail.com. That's unsignedsessions2022@gmail.com, and the guys will get back to you there. Don't forget, our podcast is now available on YouTube as well as your favourite podcast app. So we thank you for listening. We look forward to hearing from you. You can contact us at podcast@bundoranweekly.com. And indeed find us on Facebook and Twitter at Bundoran Weekly. You can follow us wherever you're listening now, or indeed stream and download all episodes on demand at bundoranweekly.com. Don't forget to keep tagging your photographs on Instagram with the hashtag #DiscoverBundoran for your chance to be featured on our feed, or indeed just tag our account, which is at @DiscoverBundoran. Thanks as always to Mark Egan and the team at Songs of Earn for the use of our signature tune, which is The Man from Bundoran, which is running under me now as we say good luck, have a great week. And we'll talk to you
Bundoran Weekly is a production of Discover Bundoran.
The Bundoran Weekly is brought to you by AIB, supporting local businesses in Bundoran. For more, see aib.ie.